Creme find an 8.
Oh,
They
wow.
can! Wow! And they hit a queen!
bingo.
Oh, they hit quads!
That's rude.
Could this be it? Could this be it? It is it! $10,000! Oh, ace king versus ace 8. There's an 8 though. It is a king!
Ball.
And it's over!
That's a magic trick. Welcome to Magic Mondays on 88 Poker TV. I'm Nick Wealthall, your host, joined by no one. It's just me, Nick Wealthall, your host, talking on my own. Let's see how this goes. Delighted to be here for our last ever Magic Mondays. It was going to be Monday. There's only one. Oh, God. It was going to be me and Tuck for our last ever show. It's not. It's just me. Unfortunately, David has a family emergency. We wish him and his family all of the best. Yeah. Let's see if that's the only reason I give for his absence. Good to see you all. Welcome in chat. Thanks for finding us this Monday. Welcome to the ABL, Nettie, Ron Gooder, Zep GG, Wayne Noonian, Andy Exxon, Jedamonis, and everybody else. Thank you for being here on our last Magic Monday. Probably my last poker show ever. I will be wanging on about myself at some point during this stream. But we've also got a final table to cover. As ever on Magic Monday, we are covering the 100K Mystery Bounty main event on 888 Poker. Those are our players. Those are the chip stacks. Don't know how many blinds they have. Impossible to know at this point. Unless you had some sort of PhD in maths. Boxwaxer said, David got arrested for smuggling Pokemon cards. That is, as I believe, the situation as it stands right now. We'll try and get you updates during the show. We are live. On a delay, of course, so we can see the whole cards and ridicule these people's ludicrous decisions. That's not really what we're going to do. Hi to Kivi, hi to Fox Force, hi to Zabitis, Nanotech, Quantum Criminal, Bodwet. Oh no, we're going to do Lod and Things. Don't worry about that. We've still got giveaways. Although I don't like to talk about it. We've got 7 $109 tickets. As generous as ever, right to the last. 7 $109 tickets will be given away on this show. We will do Nick Thinks. Lime's going to give me the questions in chat, so don't worry about that. The giveaways will be as unfair as ever. Nothing changes. Thanks, Leo. Leo says, happy last Magic Monday. You'll be missed. You guys became part of my poker journey. I thank you all for the fun and learning. Absolutely. Thank you for your support, Leo, over the years. Nettie, yes, this is the last Magic Monday. Parabellum says, no way. Dave just did what everyone does and not work off his notice. That's exactly what he did. That is literally what he's done. He's gone peace. No, he's not here because of his continuing legal entanglements. We hope those are cleared up soon. We've got a free roll. Just because it's the last show doesn't mean, like I said, we're stopping giving away stuff. We're giving away loads of stuff. The free roll password is HNYFR88. HNYFR88. It is the 888 Poker TV special free roll in the free roll restricted tab, one of those. There are $500 in there with your name on them, probably not. Although some of them might have your name on them, probably not. Although you will have a lot of fun, definitely. So let me know how you do in the free roll. HNYFR88. What does that mean? Have no yogurt or fiber in 1988. Quite a strange message to go with. That's what we're going with. Good luck in the free roll. Okay, I'm reliably informed. It's Happy New Year free roll 888. We ran out of characters, like sometimes you do with your screen name. We have got a final table. Just one thing to say, by the way, chat to me in chat. I will talk to you even more in chat because obviously I'm soloing. And this will be an Ask Me Anything. If there's anything you want to ask about the show, poker, if you want any tips, anything, this is your last chance. I don't know if you've been wanting to take this chance, but this is your last chance to talk to me in a poker-related context, ever. So grab it in chat. Hi to Berber, Red Boy, Nude Frostmage, good to see you. Mickey Graham and everybody else in chat. Thanks for being here. We do have big blinds on the feature table as well. By the way, this tempo that I'm operating at now for the first 4 minutes, this won't sustain itself. If you tune back in, go and have a cup of tea in about 40 minutes. That'll just be me doing this. It's ace high. But at the moment, I'm quite excited. We've got big blinds. Let's have a look at this final table, shall we? And it's not super deep, is it? Pretty average, I'd say. 2 big stacks, Big Fish and DKV06. I think Big Fish 20 I've seen before on our feature tables. Not quite sure. Big Fish might be quite a common name, though. Obviously, Please Fold River, looking for some folds when he's on the blinds. He has 5 big blinds. He is our short stack. The password is wrong. Everything's going wrong. Show's been cancelled. I've been fired. The password doesn't work. It's all over. It's all fallen apart. You want to think yourself like we've still got poker. Password add an 8. Seems logical. No, that doesn't work either. Password doesn't work. Chill out on the password and the free roll. We've got top people working on it. Top people. DKV06 and Big Fish are our big chip stacks. They're in the blinds right now. They're going to play a hand. Further updates as events warrant. Just to let you know, the big bounty, the 10K in this event, was claimed by El Hombre, who busted in 13th. So a very nice day for him. All of our players, our final 8, have got $750 locked up. And as is usual, just under 1,000 entries in our Mystery Bounty main event. Mickey Graham, very mature attitude, over 20 minutes. There's no rush on the free roll, guys. There's no rush on the free roll. Although, you know, if you just guess the free roll, you get a prize. If you guess the password, you get a prize. Parabellum says, ask me anything. Yeah, ask me anything, definitely. I can't guarantee I'll reply, but definitely ask me anything. Let's try this. Ghost from East. So when David Tutman's talking, I basically use all of that time to work out how to say the screen names. So now he's not here talking. It's just me sounding out words. Ghost from East. Ghost from East. Got it. What do I win? Ghost from East folds. After all that, me not being able to read words. Ghost from East folds. Player Quill says, will there be a new show for Mondays? I'd say watch this space and see what 88's got planned. However, given that this is my last poker show, I would imagine that all poker shows will now be wound up and there'll be no more shows or streams due to irrelevance because I've left. Is that correct? No, I think there will be streams, but do check. Why would it take me the best part of 4 or 5 decades to get used to having a certain size of appendage, Parabellum? I mean, I appreciate the question. I just don't know why it would take a length of time to get accustomed to it. Andy Exxon, why did you get sacked? Too handsome, unfortunately. Too handsome, too good looking for the show. I was making everyone else look bad. Mickey Graham, if you could punch one poker pro, who would it be? Tony G. Definitely. I just think it's such a punchable face. Disclaimer, the views on punching and any physical violence are not endorsed by 88 or anyone else because violence is wrong. It's just a funny question. Zuravilov has opened from the button there, and that's one of the adjustments you're going to want to make when you get under 20 big blinds, because if you're going to min-raise open, you are vulnerable. Look, I'm doing poker. If you're going to min-raise open, you are vulnerable to getting attacked because players know that you don't want to call off. So you're better off push folding in those spots usually. Boxwaxer says, is Leroy Jenkins still a legend? Leroy Jenkins is an absolute legend, Boxwaxer. I think it was like the 20-year anniversary of that clip recently, or there was some anniversary because it appeared on my timeline, so I enjoyed it about 8 times again. It's phenomenal. Which poker pro are you most likely to be stuck on a desert island with for 24 hours? 24 hours? So what is this scenario, Mickey? I'm on a journey. There's an incident. I jump out the plane with a parachute with one other poker pro, and we get picked up 24 hours later. I don't know what I'm supposed to achieve in 24 hours. Guess it would be somebody that knows a lot about poker, and then I could just... But then they'd have to want to talk about the things they know about poker. So maybe the most fun person in poker, which is tough. I don't even know who that is. You sort of think stuck on a desert island, 24 hours isn't that long, but actually it's a long time. Jamie says, what's the best thing about David Tuchman? Genuinely or hilariously? Set of 9s for DKV. We'll put a pin in that one. We'll get back to it in a second. This is very good volume of questions. I really appreciate it, by the way. Flush draw on a pair for Oh Really. I guess they're going for Oh Really. Or Oral Y. Who knows? I think Oh Really makes more sense. No action, though. Pair and a flush draw and no action. DKV takes it down. The best thing about David Tuchman is his ability to miss work. He couldn't be here today. He actually sent a telegram. Now's as good a time as any to read it because he's missing his last Magic Mondays. It says, I'm sick of you all. That's it. That's all it said. Not really. He misses you already. The best thing in real life about David Tuchman is that he is genuinely, and like this is, I can't say in a non-cliched way, oh, we can't say because there's an all in the call. We'll never know what the best thing was. And Please Fold dodges the bullet, much to everyone else at the table's annoyance. Because if you're at a final table, you want bust outs. Please Fold River doubles up. David is genuinely, edit this bit out, please, someone. David is genuinely as solid, nicer, loyal, and well-meaning person as I've met in poker. And he's really good fun, pleasure to be around. And I can't say, if I'm being serious, I can't say a bad word about him, which is really annoying. So let's not be serious for the rest of the show. How are we getting on with the password? Not well, it seems. Netta, you're in tears because you'll miss Magic Mondays. All the vlogs are up. Just whack one on from about 2 years ago. They're all pretty much the same. Your brain won't really know it's not live. Okay. The password works. This is so exciting. People are in. So it's HYN, not HNY. So to sum up several stressful minutes for Lyme, the password is HYNFR888. Well done to those of you that are in. Imagine if you win the last ever Magic Monday free roll. Your name will be written in history and no one will ever know or care. But you should still play because there's $500 up for grabs for you to win. A badly timed ace queen with the short stack for Please Fold Driver. They're going to find out the bad news in a second. Johnny says, why no more Magic Mondays? Absolutely no idea. I think the magic just ran out, Johnny. It's the thing about magic. It's not forever. Here's the message of tonight. Enjoy what you have while you have it, yeah? Call from O'Reilly. And this is going to be bad for Please Fold Driver. No outs remain. They are our first exit in 8th place. Well played to them. Well played to everyone on our final tables. Always like to remind you of this. These players have battled through nearly 1,000 entries to be here for your entertainment. Please Fold Driver was worth some money as well. This is a bounty tournament. The mystery is solved. It was $42. Like the meaning of life. 42. Please Fold Driver finishes 8th. And there's a lot of admin, isn't there? David usually does the admin. $750. Well done to them. And they won some bounties, probably. But no one really cares. The banter has been great, says Scuddy. Thanks very much. Very happy to hear it. I will say this several times during tonight, but David and I always really appreciated your support of the show, watching, or especially the chat, which was always fantastic. We were very, very lucky to have such a fun time doing this show. What else have we got? We've run out of Ask Me Anything, so I'll assume you've asked everything. Already hits top pair, 5s and 3s. and Zuravilov. Well, I like that name. Zuravilov has not much, both in terms of their hand and also in terms of the fact that they have 9 big blinds, which is not very many, is it? Nessie's hoping Lime takes over the show. Definitely possible. You're very welcome, Jamie. Thanks for watching so often and for being part of the show. Big Fish raises from the button. This show will actually be the longest in the last 6 days that I've gone without a chocolate or other sweet item. I am slightly worried that after about 40 minutes, my body will have some sort of insulin deprivation dip and I'll just keel forward into the screen because I've been propping it up with just relentless after eights and other chocolates. We've got this thing of lint balls. It's like a bowl of lint balls. It's amazing. All the food groups aren't represented. All in for Zuravilov. DKV has to call here. 6 big blinds to win 12.8. He may not love Queen Jack offsuit, but it's a mandatory call. We can see that it's actually 50-50, but it doesn't really matter. You are pot committed. And I'll try and give some tips out tonight as well, because it is a poker show. If you want to prove to yourself that this is not a decision, just go and look at a really basic simulator of pre-flop odds. And there are so few hands or ranges where 2-1 isn't a call. On this occasion, it's only a 10 that will make it work. It doesn't work. And so Zuravilov doubles up. But yeah, make sure if you want to, if you're just kind of starting to begin your poker journey or just trying to get to grips with what happens, make sure you've got like these basic ideas of odds, pre-flop odds and typical flop situations. You just want to get those ingrained as quickly as possible so you don't really have to think about them during the action. New Frost Mage says lint is awesome. We're taking a box of them to our New Year's Eve party. Very good call. You'll be easily the most popular people there. The Able says, I've only just joined last month. Oh, bad timing. You created some good laughs in that short time. Happy to hear it. Sleepy the Old, I've just totaled up tickets from Magic Monday. Over $1,000 in tournament tickets. Sleepy the Old, that is awesome. Good for you. That was one of the most fun things about this show is how much we were able to give away. Even if you didn't win anything with a ticket, I mean this genuinely, I think playing in a bigger tournament, like a $109 tournament, if you don't usually play $109 tournaments, is awesome. Like it gets the blood pumping. It makes you feel like you're really focused and switched on and you're being challenged. And that's always part of the fun of poker as well as whether you win or not. If it's just whether you won or not, nobody would play. I honestly believe that because most of the time you either don't win or you win a small amount. So it's the fun of playing that's a massive part of why we're all here, in my opinion. The guy get well over 1K in tickets as well. Cool. Good to hear. Final table, nothing. Tonight could be the time you change that. It is your last chance. And I do accept that the odds are getting thin, but let's not give up. We're still going to have 5 $109 tickets to give away during the show. And I will spin the Wheel of Justice for one last time. This is actually starting to get a bit sad now. Winning Kathy says, no more Dave and Nick. We will see you in 2026. Well, you won't see me winning Kathy unless you are someone with profit and loss responsibility in a financial services corporate, in which case you can be my client. You will see David, though. He still does plenty of streams on the other side of the pond, which you can tune into, follow his social media. He does lots of other work. I won't be doing any more poker work, I don't think, but Dave definitely will. Well, we've lost one player. Not much else has changed. The password, that changed. My attitude's changed, I think. Leo says, I have you on LinkedIn, so I'll keep liking your posts there. Thanks, Leo. I am on LinkedIn, giving out business info. Very, very different to this. Kathy actually could be. Kathy, hit me up on LinkedIn. Will my retirement entail playing some poker, Arsalam? Yeah, it definitely will, I think, at some point. I definitely want to... I definitely want to go to Vegas again, but I'm not sure when. But I think now that I'm not working in poker, I think I probably will get back to playing a bit more as a hobby. Parabellum says, I guess 2 hours on Monday was too much work. Parabellum, it's like you can see into my soul. It's way too much work. Come on. Oh, that's very kind of you, Leo. Leo says you should all follow me on LinkedIn, which of course you should. Big Fish is all in. Zuravliov said it wrong the first few times. I quite liked the wrong version. But I've been in trouble with that before. I will try and drop in some poker reminiscences because it might be interesting content. The worst thing I ever did, but the worst problem I ever had was I did a final table online and I thought the person's screen name was Squirrel. And then the year, people put their year, like 1985 or whatever. I thought it was Squirrel 1985 and it was actually Squire 1 1985. So I literally called him Squirrel the whole time. And then he found me at a live event and was really, really angry. I'd called him Squirrel. He won the tournament and he was really angry I'd called him Squirrel. I was like, I don't know, what can I do? Squirrels are cool. They're really intelligent. Like they're really good at solving problems and stuff like that. There's documentaries on how good they are at solving problems. So like embrace your inner squirrel. But yeah, people don't like you saying their names wrong. It's the worst part of this job, actually, is getting people's both real names and screen names right. 2 flush draws, 2 similar stacks in this hand. Neither player playing aggressively. So that probably means we don't get a ton of action because they won't want to... It's unlikely they'll want to bluff. Parabellum says, how is Mia with having to put up with you on a Monday night? I don't think it'll change her plans, Parabellum. She spends every Monday night with her fitness instructor, really working on her athletic goals, one-on-one. So like she seems to get a lot from that. She comes back much more relaxed. What? Making myself laugh. Baldwin says, was Squirrel actually a chipmunk in real life? Yeah, that was the problem. I got the wrong species of medium-sized rodent. Zaravliov is going to bluff. I couldn't have been more wrong as usual. There was a bit of a timing tell. That was a very long think. But this is still a very hard call. Okay, SQX can beat bluffs. They can beat naked bluffs, and they are in the blinds. So Zaravliov entered this hand with a really wide range, and they could have picked up any kind. They could have been betting a 4, a 3, a 5, 6, which now makes a straight, obviously. But I think this is a very hard call to make. Yeah, nice bluff by Zaravliov. Yes, it was one of those bluffs where it's the only way they can win the hand, but it's still pretty good. Happy Ray says, was that a bit? What, the bit about my wife on a Monday night? I hope so. Winning Kathy. No, you won't get to meet me in Madrid. I'm really sorry. You can message me on LinkedIn, like I said. Question from YouTube is, are you staying in the poker stream business or leaving the industry entirely? I'm leaving the industry. This is it. Now, having said that, you can never say never. And maybe David will do a project and he'll want me to be involved or something like that. But I sold my poker business about, what year are we now? Crikey, I sold my poker business about 6 years ago. And then at that point, I had another business, which I still have, and that is what I do now. So I have a consultancy business, which is what I'm banging on about. So I'm not seeking poker work. The reason I kept doing this is that I enjoyed it. So this is literally a really amazing side hustle. Is that what the kids call it? I love doing the show. I like 8 to 8 live events. If I hadn't been enjoying them, I just wouldn't have done them. So now that this has gone away, I'm not going to look for other poker work. So I think this is probably my retirement. To think about what I'm going to do in my retirement. Probably move to France and never work again. Apart from the business thing I just mentioned. So it's not that, is it? What am I going to do on Monday nights? I'm going to have to start another stream, but just not poker. I'll do something else. What stream could I do? I could do chess. I could do that. We got a hand here in which Flopzilla has somehow made a straight, which is hard to do. I almost never make straights. That's my reflection on poker. I never made straights. And Big Fish was either planning on hitting. They had a double belly bust, didn't they? They could make a 8 or a 4. Either they were planning on doing that, or they were planning on bluffing, but they had no room to bluff at the end. So that's a pretty nice pot for Flopzilla. It takes them up into 4th. Nettie says, a trophy for Nick and Dave for putting up with our chat. Chat's been great. Thanks, Parabellum. Lime says, this was my side hustle and now it's my main hustle. You never know where life can take you. Absolutely. And that's always true in poker. There's always opportunity in poker. Gost from East is going to move all in. Zaravliov, who was once a short stack, now gets to be the big boy that calls. And Ghost is in trouble. Does have outs. That's one of them. Up to 13 big blinds after that coup. Some password confusion, but the free roll doesn't start for like 4 more minutes, and then there's late reg for another 40 minutes. So stay calm, type carefully, and, you know, do look after your loved ones. Any problems with the free roll of any kind, hesitate to call. I literally do not know how to do anything about it. Aces versus sixes. So 12 big blinds, 9 in the middle. I think there's going to be a small bet, yeah, and then try and get it in on the turn. What I hate here is when players check back because they don't think they can get paid on the turn. I always think it's a mistake. I don't know if SQX is going to do it, but just put the money in. Like, you're much more likely to get action on turns than river. Not always, but a lot of the time. Yeah, I like it. On this occasion, it's a pair of sixes. Like, DKV's probably not giving action, whatever. Leah says, can I ask why you shifted from poker to consultancy? I honestly done everything I wanted to do in poker. I was incredibly lucky. The three of you that know my poker career will have a sense of the things I've done. I literally did everything I wanted to in poker, and I know how lucky I was to do that. So yeah, just wanted to follow other ambitions, like building another business. Interesting raise this from DKV. I'm not sure I quite understand that check raise because, okay, they almost certainly have the best hand, but that's a check raise that just gets your opponent to play perfectly, I think. Like maybe they call with second pair there. Andy, the poker business I sold was Transform My Poker. It was a training site that I had for about 8 or 9 years. And it was training courses for non-professional poker players. And we found a gap in the market. And it's actually the biggest training site in the UK. Because most of the rest of them were based in the US. So I don't know if that's that big a claim, but it did well. It did well because we were making training products for non-professionals, and they were to beat kind of, you know, normal poker games. So there wasn't a game theory optimal idea anywhere to be found. Hi to Disco Derek. I love that screen name. Hi to Hermanoka. Bodwit says, in all seriousness, thanks for all the streams. You and Tuck made a great team. Enjoy every minute. Good luck for the future. Thanks, Bodwit. I appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. Nia says, Nick is the British version of Doug Polk. Just wildly less successful. Zaravliov has the ace king, wants action from DKV, doesn't get it. I mean, Kathy, it's not the worst Monday ever. You've still got at least an hour and a half of this. Relaxitronic says, I only found these streams a month ago. I really enjoyed the Poker Night Live vibe. Best wishes to both of you guys in your future endeavors. Thank you, Relaxitronics. Poker Night Live was the first paid poker work I ever did. And I was thinking today, I think it was 20 years ago. I think my first, roughly, like maybe 21 years ago, my first ever paid poker work was on Poker Night Live, which was a late night cable show on UK TV. Remember cable when you used to go up through the channels before streaming? And it was up high in the channels just before you got to the really interesting stuff, by which I mean talk radio, obviously. Some of the interesting stuff was actually made in the same studio as the poker shows. No, I'm not joking. So yeah, we will have ticket giveaways. I'll do one in a minute. We're still going to have Nick Thinks. Lime is going to ask me the Nick Thinks question in the chat. So we're still going to do that. Everything remains basically the same, except for the fact that A, there's no David. I'll explain why in a second. B, I'm doing it solo. And C, this is the last ever Magic Monday and therefore the last ever happy time in your life. Something Kathy's telling me. It can't be true. Stevie the Chef says, Poker Night Live got me into poker. That's awesome. It's amazing over the years how many people I've met who said Poker Night Live got them into poker, including, I think the most notable is Stephen Chidwick, who I don't know if it got him into poker, but he certainly watched it a lot when he was a beginning player, and he became one of the best players in the world. I love that. But yeah, lots of people have always been very kind about those shows. They were amazing. But they came around at a time when there just wasn't much poker content. So we were very, very lucky. We used to have really, really high viewing figures, even though it was like a high number cable channel. Three Glenn says, does that mean Spin the Wheel is gone too? Three Glenn, we're definitely spinning the wheel tonight. So I asked Lime, and there are going to be streams on Mondays in the new year. There's still going to be 888 streams. They're just not announcing what the content is yet. We just know it's not Magic Monday and it's not me and David. Bodwit says, Nick should do an Andy Murray sign off. Never liked poker anyway. Oh yeah, that was Andy Murray's tweet, wasn't it? And is it never liked tennis? Was that his like goodbye tweet? That was pretty awesome. Ace Queen is good for SQX. If you just found the stream, you're going to be very confused about why I'm rambling on about the past and me. This is the last ever Magic Monday stream, but that doesn't mean you can't get involved. We are going to have ticket giveaways. We've got, as generous as ever, 7 109 tournament tickets for play on 888. We'll give away those during the stream. Hi, Moshart. What is up? Hi, Ticello. How are you? Good to see you all. Nice to have so many of you for the last show. Tell your friends it's over. Just the toxic friends. Just take them to one side and say, I know we've been friends for a long time, but this really isn't doing it for me. No, tell them the show's over, is what I meant, clearly. David is very sorry he couldn't be here. Unfortunately, he put on so much weight over Christmas that he can no longer get off his couch. He has to get, you know, those like jaws of life things they use in car crashes to like wedge him out of a chair. And there was no one available to get him out today. So unfortunately, he's not on air with me. Has David mentioned in the Epstein files? No. But then they were heavily redacted. Disclaimer, no. Hi, Vlarank, how's it going? Hi, Fishfight, how are you? Good to see you all. If I haven't said hello to you so far in chat, say hi and I'll give you a shout out. Unlimited shout outs on our last ever show, of course. Let's see this hand then. Let's do a Nick Thinks. Prepare yourself, Lime. Hi, Game Changer. Good to see you. Phil, there's a how many calories did Tuck eat over Christmas question coming up. There isn't, but maybe there is. Where are we up to? We are at a fairly well-balanced final table, aren't we? Goss from the East and Zaravliov, I'm going to say it wrong all night, Zaravliov are your short stacks. But nobody's super common. DKV is your chip leader. Happy Races, I'm hoping for a monkey-related question. Ex-Mercer says, Mondays will never be the same again. That's true. They will be different because we won't be doing this show. Maybe they'll be better. We got a cooler here. Horrible cooler for SQX. FQX Rec TXQ. I wonder what that means. They'll know what that means, and we haven't got time to work it out because they're going to be out. Just a bit of a setup hand. The ace may help a little bit. Just a single raise pot. So, doesn't help a ton. DKV check raises. Interesting decision. DKV has check raised already at this final table, so maybe they check raise a lot, which is an interesting style of play. It does get a fold from a hand they wanted action from. So unclear whether it was the best move. Let's judge it on results. It was a terrible move. I've been doing that over 20 years in commentary. Always works. That's a tip, kids, if you ever do commentary. Okay, let's do a giveaway, shall we? We've got 5 $109 tickets to give away, and then 2 more on the last ever Poker Wheel of Justice. This is Nick Thinks, which is the game Loddon Thinks. I know you've played before and I know you've heard the rules, but it's the last show, so you're getting them anyway. Lime is going to ask me a question in chat. I am going to give my very best effort at an answer, and I'm going to have to work out my answer while I'm broadcasting solo for you. So either the answer is going to be bad, or the broadcast is going to, all right, worse, and the broadcast is, or the broadcast is going to be bad, all right, worse, because I've got to concentrate on one or the other. I can't multitask. So be prepared for that. That's exciting. You have to guess what my answer will be. I'll do my level best to give you a good answer, what I think it is. You have to guess what I think it will be. 1 guess per player. You can play on YouTube chat. You can play on 888 chat, but only 1 guess per player, please. Lime runs the contest with Lionfish. She will tell you when it's closed. She will also kick you out if you guess too many times. 2 tickets up for grabs. 2 unique values must win. That means if one is 1 away and one is 2 away and someone else is 1 away, whatever. You know how it works. I certainly didn't explain it well. Ravliov has the King 7 and is pipped. Very annoying way to go out, but that's the perils of being a short stack. Zaravliov, had to get it right for the last time, is your 7th place finisher, knocked out by a chip leader DKV. Zaravliov takes home, let's have a look, $1,000. That's all right, isn't it? For a $109 buy-in, or less if they satellited. Plus $1,000 in bounties, 2K, 2 full bags. Lovely. All right, let's do this. Lime, ask me a question. Ask me Nick Thinks question. Chat, you have 1 guess per player to answer. We'll see Ace King versus Ace Jack as Lime posts the question in chats. Question is, how many Magic Monday viewers have reached the final table of the Magic Monday free roll? Good question. So in the years we've been doing Magic Mondays, how many Magic Monday chatters, is that the question? Viewers, how many Magic Monday viewers have reached the Magic Monday final table of the free roll? Good question. See, now I'm thinking about the question. I'm not commentating. I have to do my working out loud. A very welcome pair of kings for SQX. Very welcome pair of kings. Let's see if they get action. They will, of course, from O'Reilly. Oral I or O'Reilly? What do you think? I think O'Reilly. Do the kings hold? They don't. 2 diamonds or a king required. Only a king. Horrible way to go out. That's the life of a short stack. They would have been right back in it. That's what's so frustrating about final table. Even when you're short stacked, you just need that hand to go your way, as I'm sure you will all know. But SQX is going to be out. SQXX Rec TXQ rolls off the tongue as they roll out in 6th. Well played to them. 6th is good for $1,435. Our 5 players remaining have got just under 2K locked up. Big prizes as ever on Magic Monday. And they also picked up only a couple of bounties, 200 or so, but over $1,500 for their $109 buy-in. So a very good tournament for them, of course. My answer is in. Keep guessing. Line will tell you when the contest is closed. How many Magic Monday viewers have made the Magic Monday free roll final table in the time we've been doing Magic Monday? I'm saying Magic Monday a lot. And that is because I invented the term Magic Monday. Look, I called the show Magic Monday specifically to get Susanna Hoffs on this show. I know that the song was called Manic Monday, but obviously we couldn't call it Manic Monday. But I thought that sort of clever similarity and my enduring love/fanship would have worked. It didn't. Well, it didn't yet. Maybe she's about to be revealed in the final hour of Magic Monday. How good would that be? I'm so excited. I'm keeping the dream alive till I go off air. Monster flop for 8's exactly what you want. Big Fish takes it down. And all eyes on Ghost from East with 4 big blinds. This should be it in terms of getting their money in. But we're thinking about it. Berber, do you have a copyright on the name Magic Monday? Only in spirit, sadly. I should have in reality, but I don't. I know, Bodwell, we never got Susanna Hoffs on the show. New Frost Mage says, tell Tuck that you had Susanna Hoffs on the show. I definitely should do that. They both have ace-4. Free rolls? No free rolls. No GGs for Ghost or Ghost. Ghost? Make sure you get your guesses in. This is for a $109 ticket. 2 must be won. What does Nick think the number of Magic Monday viewers that have reached the free roll final table is? I've got that horrible feeling that my answer isn't actually what I think. Which David only had once. And I think I've got that feeling because I didn't have chance. Because there's only me here. I didn't have chance to actually think about the answer properly. But the answer is the answer now. There's nothing we can do. Boxwaxer came 3rd once in the free roll. So that's 1 if we're counting. Right? So it's at least 1. Actually, I'll give you a shout out if you ever made the final table. S Champagne Poker says I made it many times. You could just lie, couldn't you, actually? But I know S Champagne Poker isn't. I'm really inclined to be clear. I suspect there's more than 1. Ace-4 this time is going to work. Ace-4 is his hand, isn't it? Or her hand. Goss is just sitting around folding everything until they get Ace-4, and then they just either survive or win with it. Pretty cool. Stevie the Chef came 4th last week, so we're up to 2. It's definitely more than 2. I feel a bit better about my guess now. The Hungry won it once. We're up to 3. Well done on winning it. That's awesome. Nicky Graham, we can't clarify anything because the contest's closed. And even if we did clarify, it wouldn't matter because it's just what I think. And I didn't really think about the question you've asked either, so it's really hard for me to answer it. Hey, well done, Dex. You just won one of the $100 free rolls. Nice. Bodwet came 4th or 5th one time. Awesome. Nico Poker came 2nd once. Really, really cool. Nightbot says, like the stream, make sure to hit the follow button. Yes, do that and see no more streams like this. But you will see what 888's got planned next. They will have streams continuing in the new year. They'll still be free. They'll still be full of 888 goodness. So make sure you check them out. No idea what they are. They won't be as good as this. But that doesn't mean they won't be good. It's not a fair standard, is it? Magic Monday is the gold. Largely due to David Tuckman, of course, who just checking out this flop. And Big Fish is in a really nice position here. Can basically just cool down and hope that DKV keeps betting. These are the 2 chip leaders. Oh, they're not, are they? Orally won that pot and is now in 2nd. And now this is kind of a must value bet, in my opinion, where players often won't make this value bet. Yes, occasionally you can own yourself. Very, very rarely you're going to bet here and they're going to wake up with King Jack or something. But it's really, really unlikely. You've got to remember the hand distributions, the ranges involved when a player enters the pot from the small blind. They just don't have that many kings or hands that beat you. And they very, very rarely check the hands that beat you. So that's a free source of, let's say, 8 big blinds, which is huge at a final table. And if you want a poker tip from my last ever broadcast, it's probably the same as the one I gave on the first ever broadcast, which is do not miss your value bets. If you're not getting as deep in tournaments as often as you'd like, I guarantee you're missing value bets like that. Gin for Flopzilla. We'll give away some tickets in a second. Soranaki made the final table once. Cool. Soranaki, this could be the time that you win a ticket. This is your last chance. Exciting, isn't it? Flopzilla with a little raise. I quite enjoy the little raise here. Builds the pot. Not completely clear what you're doing when you little raise a board like this. Players with a nut flush don't often make a little raise. I really had nothing to call with, but I think in general, that's not the worst line in the world there. All right. How many Magic Monday viewers do I think have made a Magic Monday final table in the free roll? Well, the first thing to say on this question is that our chat crushes the free roll. Like, compared to how many people there are actively chatting, and that doesn't include viewers, right? Viewers, there's a lot of people that never will chat, but will dip in and out the stream or watch the stream. And so based on that sample size, I think our audience overachieves in the free roll. There'll be a lot of people not taking the free roll seriously or whatever. And this Magic Monday's been going for something like 5 years, maybe a bit under 4.5 or something like that. I don't know. So that is a good 250 free rolls. And we've got several hundred viewers every show. And so I did the maths really fast in my head, but really, really accurately. And the correct answer is 58. Bear in mind, you can come anywhere in the top, whatever it is, 9. But yeah, 58 is the correct answer. Several of you agree with me. Several of you will be really, really annoyed because you think I'm completely wildly out. And that's the beauty of the contest. Let's see if Goss from the East survives this coup. Doesn't look like they will. Yes, they will. They're very, very good at surviving, aren't they? Very good. No diamonds in anybody's hands. Hi, it's the Pits. Hi, Tim. Hi, Andy X on the phone. Say hi already. Let's have a look at some winners. I said 58, which is, of course, the right answer. Nailed it again. We have got Don Variance, who was the best guesser, one away with 57. You win a $109 ticket. And Hamelian 41K with 56. You win a $109 ticket. Congratulations, both of you. There were several with the same answer or very, very close. Those are the two that Line found on rigorous checking. Said it first. Speed is a factor in the test. Congratulations, Hamelion, and congratulations, Don Variance. Kiva is questioning my maths. Kiva, you have to remember, this is grossly unfair and always has been. If you did, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, says Don Variance. Yes, the variance is your friend. we don't be downhearted if you haven't won. Never be downhearted if you haven't won. It's about playing the game. But more than that, you got lots more chances. 3 more $109 tickets to be given away in the history of Magic Mondays. Plus 2 on the Wheel of Poker Justice if you're on there. 2 more chances. It's not over yet. I mean, it's basically over, but it's not over yet. How are we doing? We're careering towards the break. Would it be the last ever break in Magic Monday? Or will we go to 2 breaks? Extend the goodness. Top fair from Goss from the East, who not only refuses to die, but is now trying to accumulate. They were down to 4 big blinds. I think in the history of this stream, we've seen a lot of people come back from single-digit big blinds to actually win the final table. It does happen. It's a lesson for you if you're playing. Especially in tournament poker, you should never, ever be giving up. Happy Racers, is that water you're drinking? It is water I'm drinking. My voice is going to die because there's only me talking and because I'm overly excited. 8 versus Ace King, the classic No Limit Hold'em tournament coup coming for your pleasure tonight on 888. Sleepy the Old, I'm not allowed to drink on stream. There'll be a nice glass of red at some point in my future. How does Big Fish want to play these 8s? 14 big blinds. Yeah, they call, which I don't love, because what are you going to do now? You're basically hoping either to hit an 8, that your 8s are an overpair, which almost never happens, or that Flopzilla just gives up. So I sort of don't like calling when the opponent only has 14 big blinds behind, because a lot of the time, so on this occasion, Flopzilla's checked, but a lot of the time you're just going to face a shove or a bet, and your hand's not going to be very good, and you're going to be guessing out of position. So I think you're either stacking off or folding in that spot. Still doing poker, by the way. You'll notice. You're welcome. The Big Fish is now betting, and this is a very sort of blocky, maybe Ace King will give me 3 big blinds. Like shoving here from Flopzilla is super creative. It would be basically saying, I've got a slow played monster that I 3-bet pre-flop. I'm not necessarily recommending it because, you know, it's very possible that Kingfish can have something like King Queen there that they just haven't bet until the river. But an interesting idea. We're going to get some action here, I think. Not as much as I thought. TKV not wanting to enter subtlety into the equation with a pair of jacks. People hate jacks. I don't know why. It's quite good, isn't it? As a hand. What is it, 42% of the time with jacks? There's an overcard. Theo Gaga says, does this mean 888 ride is also done? No, David is doomed to drive around in a car with a variety of poker miscreants jumping into the passenger seat forever. I think there are more 888 rides coming. I don't know what the long-term plans are, Leo. Interesting flop. Open-end straight draw for Big Fish. Goss from the East with a hand that's often the best hand. 47%, not 42%. I suck at remembering numbers. Hi, Lydia. Good to see you. Hi, Auntie Bala. Hi to anyone else watching. Say hello and I'll say hello back because I'm like a say hello Ron Burgundy automatic broadcaster. And also because it's the last ever show. So unlimited shout outs. Big Fish is going to bet this because Goss from East has refused to bet it. Heading towards a break. Clearly, we're going to do at least one break. Maybe we'll do two on this Magic Monday as we cover this event down to crowning a champion. It is the 100k Mystery Bounty main event. And we've got 5 left, and we'll take a break. More of this, more giveaways, more of me, more Magic Mondays after the break.
It's time for Ace State Poker Live 2026, and we're lining up a jam-packed year full of awesome events just for you. First up is Madrid, where we'll bring the poker thrill to one of Europe's most vibrant cities. Then we head to Glasgow, a city known for its heart, energy, and epic poker showdowns. Next, it's on to Barcelona, where poker meets party under the Spanish sun. Finally, we close out in London, showcasing our poker prowess in one of the most iconic cities in the world. And that's not all. The UKPL is back with 5 stops across the UK for your chance to grab even more poker action. We've also got the Noche de Poker Festival in Spain, bringing poker closer to you. It's going to be an incredible live experience unlike anything you've seen before. And stay tuned for more surprises. So whether you're a seasoned pro or new to the game, Ace State Poker Live is your chance to be part of something unforgettable. Come along, play well, get lucky, and you could be our next Ace State Poker Live champion. Ace State Poker, made to play.
We can also use small straight draws, gut shots, even open enders, and blast them off of high card hands that are ahead of us. When we've defended our big blind to a raiser, we are out of position. The most common thing we're going to do is check to the raiser. Because we had a discount pre-flop, we have a wide range. They have a narrower range. On most flops, they have an advantage in strength, and they have an advantage with position. We're just going to check to them and then reassess based on what they do. When we face a c-bet, we have to first of all get rid of all of our trash hands. So if the board comes like a Jack 10-5, we know we're automatically folding pocket threes. Ace deuce offsuit, 6-7 offsuit. All of those hands disappear. Then we are left with a reasonably strong range. Our second pairs, our top pairs, some sets, maybe straights, depending on what the board is. And all of these hands have to go into 2 buckets, 2 strategic decisions: check raising and check calling. People often don't check raise enough, and it's really important to check raise enough, both to get fold equity and to get maximum value from your strong hands. Let's say the board comes 2, 3, 4, we check, they bet. We really want to get lots of money in with like 5-6 for the flop straight or pocket fours for a set. So we are going to check raise those hands. We can't only check raise our very strongest hands. We need to balance that with bluffs as well. Maybe a hand like King 5 offsuit for the open-ended straight draw and the overcard. When we check raise these bluffs, we can make ace highs fold, and that's great. We can even use them as multi-barrel bluffs down the streets and maybe make them fold a pair on the correct runouts as well. There are times when we don't check raise very much at all. If there's a lot of ICM considerations and we're covered, or if the flop is just particularly good for the pre-flop raiser. If the floppers came ace king 5, the pre-flop raiser has loads of top pair hands, loads of the best sets and the 2-pair hands. They have a big advantage. So we're not going to check raise very often at all here. We're going to decide on our trash and just fold it and do a lot of just check calling. If you're in the big blind and you call a raise versus an under the gun raiser and it comes ace king 5, having a donk betting strategy leading out instead of checking is not viable, not mathematically speaking. They have a really strong range on ace king 5. We have a relatively weak range on ace king 5. If we try and construct a leading range, it's going to be incredibly difficult to balance, and we're betting into a big disadvantage to their range. So it's not going to make you money in the long term. Some of the situations where we can construct a leading range is when the flop is beneficial to the big blind. Flops like 5-5 deuce. It's good for the big blind's range because when we had a discount pre-flop, we were calling hands like 5-6 offsuit, like king 5 offsuit. So we have a lot of 5s on 5-5 deuce, for example, whereas an early position raiser doesn't have very many 5s in their range. The reason we donk bet is to prevent them from checking back strong hands when we have a nut advantage. It allows us to maximize value from our strongest hands and maximize fold equity with some of our weaker hands that do have some potential to make something good on later streets. So when we've defended our big blind and it goes check check on the flop, we need to assess the turn card and if it's best for us in the big blind or if it's best for the pre-flop raiser. If we think the flop and turn are particularly good for our range, we need to construct a turn probe or a turn donking range. We can use hands like top pair, really good kicker. We can also use small straight draws, gut shots, even open enders, and blast them off of high card hands that are ahead of us. So we're maximizing our value with our best hands and maximizing our fold equity with some of our more nebulous hands that still have some improvability. So there you have it. There's some tips for how to play post-flop from the big blind. If you enjoyed this, please click like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to interact with you.
It's time for Ace State Poker Live 2026, and we're lining up a jam-packed year full of awesome events just for you. First up is Madrid, where we'll bring the poker thrill to one of Europe's most vibrant cities. Then we head to Glasgow, a city known for its heart, energy, and epic poker showdowns. Next, it's on to Barcelona, where poker meets party under the Spanish sun. Finally, we close out in London, showcasing our poker prowess in one of the most iconic cities in the world. And that's not all. The UKPL is back with 5 stops across the UK for your chance to grab even more poker action. We've also got the...
Welcome back to Magic Monday. Oh, that's my alarm. It must be time to talk. Professional to the last. 5 players left at our final table, as you can see. And it's anybody's game, as it always is at a final table. But 2 big chip stacks, DKV and Big Fish, as they have been since the start of this final table. It is the 100k Mystery Bounty Main Event final. They're playing for pretty much $7,500 up top, plus the remaining bounties. Let's see if we get action on this first hand from break. We do. We could lose a player. Flopzilla left themselves 1 big blind behind, which is about 100,000 chips. They might have meant to use it in the next tournament, but that's not allowed. And so they put it in, and they get rogered on the river. No one wants that. Depends on the context. DKV wins and... oh, no, they made it straight. I suck. Excellent. How funny. That's the bit to clip from the last show when Nick doesn't know there's a straight. Awesome. Well done to Flopzilla on making a straight, as I was saying. Big hand, actually. 28 big blind. Yes, it's the pits. It's still water. I'm just incompetent. I thought that was clear. This whole, calling poker hands, talking to you in chat, doing the giveaways and dealing with my emotions is too much. Big Fish has ace-5, but Goss from East, the comeback king. Yeah, are you really sorry? Is like, do you know what? I was too excited to say rogered on the river, even though they hadn't been. I was too in love with the whole typical last day behavior as tree bodwet. Goth from East has the best hand. Harder to know. Easier to know now. I may not know a straight because I never get them, but I do know what a pair of kings is. Big Fish will bet it. Pretty good spot for a continuation bet on the turn here. And don't love the raise from Gosh from East. What are you trying to get paid by here? Always remember, when you make a bet, you got to ask, what am I trying to achieve with the bet? And the way that you figure that out is you need to think about your opponent's range. You can't do it without, you cannot make a meaningful bet in poker without thinking about your opponent's range. Are they strong? Are they weak? What kind of range do they have? How is it biased? Is it biased towards draws, weak hand, strong, whatever? And then you can decide, how do I make the most money in this situation? Poker is an incredibly situational game. It's very, very hard. If you've ever tried to teach someone poker, you'll have experienced this. is very, very hard to teach someone initially, because after you've done the hand rankings and the mechanics of the game, there are very few hard and fast rules. Poker is incredibly situational, right? Once you've said, if you get aces, you probably want to raise. There's infinite number of situations. So it's really, really important to build your way of thinking about poker. So e.g., think in terms of range, for example, e.g. and for example, in the same sentence. Well done, Nick. You want to build your way of thinking about poker so that you can make good decisions, so that you can become better, because you can't create hard and fast rules because it's so situational, which makes it unique. Hey, Cindy, good to see you. It's a bit says let loose. What can they do? Cancel the stream. Fair point. Also, apparently my definition of letting loose is just calling hands wrong, making terrible guesses in Nick Thinks. So it's just all the stuff I was doing anyway. And people ask why we were fired. It's self-evident, isn't it? 2 pair for DKV. 1 pair for Big Fish. 2 pairs better than 1 pair, isn't it? Where I come from. Hope you're enjoying the free roll. If you're not in it, you've got 4 minutes to get in it. And you should play the free roll because it's free and it's fun. And there's $500 in it, which you could win a part of. It's the 88 Poker TV special free roll. The password is a subject of some debate. Lime, being ever on it, will pop it in the chat one last time. And then I'll read out what she pops in the chat so I don't get it wrong. HYNFR888. HYNFR888. That will get you in the free roll for tonight. Enjoy, have fun. Let me know how you do. We've got a little bit longer of this final table, so hopefully we can get some shout outs. I am doing an Ask Me Anything. That's what this show is. You can ask me anything about poker, poker tips, my time in poker, which is ending tonight, Magic Mondays. I won't guarantee to answer, but you can definitely ask me anything. Do fire in any questions or anything you want to talk about. I'm happy to do it. If not, we've got lots of poker to contend with. Nick Wealthall flying solo tonight. David Tutman couldn't be here. He actually joined a monastery after last week's show and took a vow of silence, so obviously he can't commentate. He's in the monastery unless he breaks the vow of silence, so we're expecting him back next week. We're not. There's no show next week. GBSK says, why are you ending? The show's come to an end, GBSK. Every show comes to an end. It's better than the end of Game of Thrones, but worse than the end of Succession. I'm hoping for something in the middle. Kathy says 88 can't afford them. It's so true because we're priceless. Big Fish opens on the button. And takes it down. We get a open button raise and 2 folds. There hasn't been a lot of that at this final table. It's pretty good in terms of action. And look at the result. Anyone's game. We've got 5 players between 18 big blinds and 38 big blinds. So if the short stack wins a pot from the big stack, they are very close to being the new chip leader. So this is a very tightly packed final table. Both Goss from East and Flopzilla have been short stacked at some point in this final table. Goss from East particularly, they had 4 big blinds and struggled for quite a while. Now, up at 21 big blinds and having a very different experience. I think that's one of the biggest challenges of tournament poker is managing how you play relative to your stack. Because your stack, as you get deeper in a tournament, your stack dictates what you do more than your cards. Obviously, there are some times when the cards just dictate when they're, nutted hands. But in general, your stack becomes more and more and more important. And you've got to be able to play differently based on that stack. And that's one of the biggest challenges, I think. It does take a while to become good at that. Not the Flopzilla wanted. Big fish can just go bet here. I say that actually. I think I'd like to take that back. Definitely some of the time flops are the checks a king back. Not that often, but quite a bit of time. But I do like this river bet. The only problem with this river bet is if you do get raised, like if Flopzilla does something creative and turns it into a bluff, it's very, you are basically going to end up folding top pair in that spot, I think. On we go, 5 players. Hope you're enjoying the stream. This is the last Magic Monday, but just to let you know that 888 will be continuing to give you some great free streams on the channel. So make sure you stick around. After tonight, they're taking a break for the holidays. They'll be back next Monday. Follow us on the social media channels to find out what they will be what they'll be serving you up. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure there'll be lots of giveaways. There always are. Podwet says, best episode ever. That other chap was holding Nick back. It's quite funny. Untrue. The other chap, of course, David Tuckman, wishes he could be here. Unfortunately, we were excited to do our last show together, and he's had an illness in the family that he's had to attend to. His mum is not well, so wish her, and of course, David, all the best. And he wants me to pass on his thanks to you for watching and supporting the show over. I think we've done, definitely in terms of streams like this, we've done about 5 years worth. I think it's been called Magic Monday for maybe 4. I think that's right. Something like that. And do you know what's terrible is that someone in chat told us last week or a couple of weeks ago how long we'd done it for, how many we'd done. And I still can't remember. Absolutely, like, no memory of anything. Orally with 8s. All in seems good to me. That'll be a winner. Absolutely, Cindy Bear and Player Quill, I'll pass on your best to David and his family. We trust all will be well soon. Always not fun when anything, you know, anyone goes down with a health problem, but especially over the holidays, it's very tough. Fenfob says, I'll miss the Nick and David thinks. This is how typical Nick thinks tended to go. David will say something like, the question is, how many pieces does Nick think there are on the board at the start of a game of chess? Google will not help you, etc. Then he says, yes, you've done it again, Nick. That's absolutely the right answer. There are 215 pieces on the chessboard to start the game. Very close to winners. 600. Yes, that's exactly how it goes. It's magical. The magical thing about it is that it was a game in which we could never be wrong, and that's why we never changed it, because it was brilliant. It's just nice to have a win every week, even if your answer was absolutely terrible. Cindy Bear says, sorry to see Magic Money come to an end. We'll miss you. Miss you too, Cindy Bear. Thank you. JM Cell says, what are your top 3 venues for a poker tournament in the world? So I played mostly cash games in my life, and I commentated and covered a lot of tournaments. So top 3 favorite tournaments, do you mean cities or card rooms? I could try and give you both. Casinos. So in the time I was playing a lot, the Wynn in Vegas was my favorite. Actually, the Wynn and the Bellagio were my favorites. in Vegas, and then there are a couple of card rooms in Newcastle, of all places, where I used to play quite a lot that were really fun. In terms of kind of more glamorous venues, the first time I ever went to Monte Carlo was a thrill. Like, it was really, really exciting. And I packed a lot of really smart clothes because all of the casino rules said that you had to wear smart clothes. And then I got to Monte Carlo and realized that the poker tournament was just the poker world in another venue, and everyone was dressed as scruffily as ever. So I was just walking around really smart. But Monte Carlo is amazing to visit, although it's really quite an awful place. But the first time you visit, it's really exciting. It's one of those. And then I've played and watched poker in some pretty incredible places. Obviously Vegas, obviously Barcelona and Madrid, London. Let's not underestimate London. And London has the Vic. I don't think London has a completely... And the Vic is like very charismatic, and we've all had good times there. I don't think it's a completely amazing poker room. No offense, but I don't work in poker anymore. It's a good poker room, but I think there could be a better poker room in the UK. I don't think there's one amazing poker room that you have to play in the UK before you, whatever. Mickey Graham says Newcastle had the Genting, Aspers and Grosvenor. Yeah, it did. And now it's just Grosvenor. I'm sorry to hear that. I haven't been up for a while. Stratford, London is a good poker room. I agree with that. Sleepy the Old was here on the first Magic Monday. He's only missed a few. Yeah, amazing. Thank you, Sleepy, for all your support. We really appreciate it. And it was great to meet you that time in London as well. Someone want to clarify when we started this? I know, I think Leo did that on the last show, so this is really bad of me because I can't remember, but that'd be good to know. Moneybelt says, now that 2025 is almost in the books, what will you remember about this poker year? I think being fired. It's a joke. It's a joke. Not fired, totally compliant at all times. What will I remember about this poker year? Definitely doing this show, because the show is always tremendous fun. And like, all joking aside, me and David love doing it. And as I mentioned earlier in the stream, poker's not my main job anymore. I wouldn't have been doing it if I didn't really love it. Lime is holding her head in despair, but I think the thing you got to realize, Lime, is this could have been much worse. I think I've been incredibly good, considering I can only be ended once. I'm trying to think of other great poker rooms. I'm really bad when a question is like so open-ended, like what's the best you've ever played in? My mind goes completely blank. Do you do that ever? When somebody asks you what's the best meal you've ever had, and you just forget the 3 best meals you've ever had. Thanks, Lime. Mickey says the producers of 88 were disgusted by the seasonal soup poll and pulled the show. I think that probably is pretty close to the truth. Oh, and David did get me the One Soup a Day book, which I gave to Mia as a Christmas present from David. I think she enjoyed that and was also very confused by it. And because I'm nice, I've given her Christmas off, and she doesn't have to start till January the 1st in the production of One Soup a Day. I'm sure she'll enjoy that. I mean, she's got her own business to run and, a lot of other things to do, but I'm sure she'll enjoy making me one soup per day. I think if I'm being really honest, my favorite poker room to ever play poker in was the Mirage poker room, because when I started out, when I was little, in my 20s, decades and decades ago, the Mirage was where I played the most. And, that's really where I really learned to win at poker consistently in cash games, in like 10, 20 limit and stuff. And So yeah, the Mirage doesn't exist anymore, and I don't think there's a poker room in the Hard Rock where the Mirage used to be. So that's a bit sad. But yeah, so from a personal point of view, not because it was an amazing poker room or anything like that, but that's the one that I would always have the most memories of, I think. In terms of ones you should visit now, a lot of them are in Vegas. The big poker rooms in California you should visit. There's a couple in Europe that are very good. Barcelona's an amazing venue because of where it is. It's been fun going there with 888. Yeah. The Mirage had a great buffet as well, says James. So yeah, the Mirage was the absolute nuts back in the day. Like it really was. It didn't have tons and tons and tons of stuff compared to some of the size of some of the venues now. But everything was done really well. Yeah, I loved the Mirage back in the day, long time ago now. Quiet period on the table, so room for chat. Fire in some questions if you have them. We'll do a keyword giveaway pretty soon. We've still got 3 $109 tickets to give away here on Magic Monday. It remains magical to the last. And then we're going to spin the Wheel of Poker Justice one last time. There is no siren because David's not here. How sad is that? Going out with a whimper. I'll try and make a siren noise. You've got that to look forward to. We've had a good run, says the Crazy Scotsman. We have. You invented the Fugazi hand, which has gone viral in poker, I assume. I haven't checked. New Frost May just asked me anything as what am I making for dinner? What is it? 29th of December? Probably a pie. You're whacking a pie in the oven. Not a euphemism. Bottom 2 says, please do the siren. I'll do the siren. Is it really a pie? Are you making this up or did I just nail it? Have I found my new stream now that Magic Monday is dead? Basically, I did nail it. He's really having a pie. How did I do that? So basically, I just guess people's food and then we discuss their food. That might work as a concept. In terms of, you know, what Nick does next. It's a stream where you say what meal you're having and I guess what it is and then we discuss it. Needs a bit of workshopping. I accept that. Kiss my ace. Thank you for the kind thought. Sorry, it's the last stream. Thank you for watching. That, of course, goes to everybody. Hoping for some poker action. It's been a bit quiet recently, hasn't it? Between these 5 players. Often have these spells on a final table where, especially because I said when we came out of the break, the stacks have got very close. And so when the stacks get close and the money jumps are high, players, you know, aren't incentivized to make big moves, take big risks, or even play that many pots because every pot can be so impactful to their stack. Now, that does mean that sometimes you can zag and go the opposite way and actually be more active, and that can really pay off because there's a lot of dead money relative to the size of the stacks. You obviously have to be careful that you're not just spewing chips, but in the right final table, you can definitely make the difference between winning the tournament and finishing 4th by chipping up when people are playing too conservatively. Obviously, if the big stack is going to do things like this, shove over an opening raise a lot, then you're a bit handcuffed. We should get action here. I'm guessing Flopzilla's going to shove. They do. Fist pump call for DKV with ace queen, but we are racing. Flopzilla's ahead. Jack works as well as the ace and queen, and the ace does Roger Flopzilla on the river. And it is the same player. I wasn't wrong. I was just early when I didn't know what a straight was. Flopzilla is out. They lost a flip, and you've got to win your flips. They're worth $42. DKV throws that on the pile. We're down to 4. Our 5th place finisher, Flopzilla, walks away with 1,970 for 5th. and 364 in bounties. I've got a note here that they fired 7 bullets in this tournament. So they paid 700 to enter, more than doubled their money. So Gotham Easter spent most of this final table as the short stack. They do have a straight that they haven't bet, and now they'll probably try and get paid. They do try and get paid. We can see that DKV has nothing to pay them with, but they still win the pot. Still keeps them alive, which they're very, very good at. They were down to 4 big blinds, lest we forget. Nick Wealthall with your last ever Magic Monday, missing his co-host, David Tutman, who couldn't be here tonight. Sends you all lots of love. And O'Reilly says, send me the pot. I don't want love. I want chips. That's a t-shirt, isn't it? I don't want your love. I want your chips. That must already exist. Someone make it if it doesn't. O'Reilly with 28 big blinds now. DKV, who was going along nicely, loses a couple and is under 20 big blinds. I think we should give away another ticket in a second. You deserve it. Let's just see how this pot plays out, and then we'll do a keyword giveaway. $109 ticket, by the way. I do have to say well done to 888 for the amount they've given away in terms of tournament tickets. It has been fantastic on this show. Usually giving away sort of $700-800 worth of tournament equity every week. So let's do a little bit of that now. Let's do our keyword giveaway. Very, very simple and straightforward. You just type in the keyword when it's been revealed. You can only play this on Twitch, though. So if you're watching on YouTube and you want to enter, you've got to jump over to the Twitch channel, which is 888 Poker TV, because it's software driven on Twitch. 1 ticket up for grabs. Lime, is the keyword ready? Just checking. Yes, it is. Lime came up with the keyword. I didn't write the keyword because that would be weird. The keyword is good luck, Nick and Tuck. It's a very long keyword. You can copy and paste. Good luck, Nick and Tuck. We need it. And some income. Luck and some income. Those are the 2 main things we need. Good luck, Nick and Tuck is your keyword. Get it in our Twitch chat and you're automatically entered. I will miss David Tutman entering the keyword giveaway many times for no reason. Good luck, Nick and Tuck. Lovely sentiment. Let's see who's going to win off the back of that sentiment. Somebody's going to win a $109 ticket. You must be on Twitch. Doesn't work on YouTube, so jump over if you want to enter. Lime will tell you when the contest is closed. As Big Fish wins another pot. They've definitely been pretty aggressive, Big Fish. They missed that 1 value bet, but other than that, I think they've been pretty active, which is exactly how you want to be with the big stack. 3 players stand between them and converting this into a win. O'Reilly shoves, DKV calls. Great spot for DKV, but it's not home yet. Now it is. Very significant pot, 36 big blinds in it. Pretty much a third of the chips in play in that pot, something like that. DKV moves up to second. O'Reilly is left short stacked. Not too much decision making in that one. 1 more minute to get your entries in, chat. Good luck, Nick and Tuck is how you enter the keyword giveaway. Somebody's going to win a $109 ticket. Tom Matouche says the most expensive giveaway ever. So many letters to write. Yeah, you've got to work for this one. It's the last show. You've got to go out doing some work. A must value bet here on the river for DKV, and they do. Big Fish calls it the 9. Only beats bluffs. And I wasn't paying attention to know how many bluffs there were, so you can fill in the blanks on that one. But these two were the big chip stacks, and time has passed, but nothing has really changed. They still are the big chip stacks. Something's about to change for one of you. You're going to win a ticket. Somebody is. Let's roll it. Lime says, here we go. And the Able. Able, A-B-L. I presume you want Able, not Abel. The Able is a winner. I only joined the chat recently over the last few weeks and is now a winner. $109 ticket for you. Well done. Well played. Thanks everyone else for playing. It's not over. We've still got 2 tickets left to give away via a Nick Thinks or a Lime Thinks. And we also have the Poker Wheel of Justice, 2 more $109 tickets. If you've put your name up for the Poker Wheel of Justice, which you've done by submitting Twitch points, you must be in chat to win. So don't go anywhere. Good luck with the ticket, the Able. Aces for Big Fish, but probably no action. DKV had a deal sign up when they were shorter stacked. I don't know if they'd still do a deal now that they're bigger stacked. Players don't like to do deals when they're big stacked, which I've never completely understood. Big Fish is all in. Blind versus blind. Ghost calls. Big favourite. 10 or a 6 changes out in the river. Oh, disgusting. Terrible stuff. Big Fish puts the big freeze on Ghost from East. And that's how it goes sometimes. In fairness, horribly unlucky in that pot, but Ghost from East has dodged quite a few bullets. They were down to 4 big blinds when we had, I think, 8 players left. And they managed to spin that up to 4th. Well done to them. Good survival. And 4th is not inconsiderable. $2,940, basically $3K, plus the bounties that they won, which, just checking, they didn't. They didn't win any bounties. Quite unusual, but that's the problem of being short stacked in one of these, isn't it? But yeah, one of those where you can be upset with that pot, but you can't be upset overall. In terms of being the short stack with 8 players and ending up 4th and making an extra $2,000. 3 players left, $4,200 locked up for these 3. One of them's going to win closer to 7.5, plus the remaining 3 bounties. No big bounties left, but they all count. Let's see how they go. Very enjoyable Super Late. Good luck, Nick and Tuck. I think that's probably not a contest entry. I just think that's sentiment, that one. From Milkuto. Sentiment. How you're doing the free roll? Why don't we check it out? Let me know. Free roll roll call. How are you all doing in the last ever Magic Monday free roll? Somebody's going to get to the final table. I know they are. Just got that vibe. Let me know if you're still in and where you're at and how many people are left. Flarank is out. Bad luck. Leo's in 117th. Winding's 121st. Scuddy's in there. Final table's in 46th. There's 372 left and 320 make the money. We're closing in on the money. Make sure you tell me when you hit the money. I think we will be on the air because it's not going to be very long at all, is it, actually, looking at that? We'll definitely still be on the air. Meme Luco Sound is in. Unlucky Quantum Criminal, Ananti Bala and Jedamonus and 3N Glenn all out. Keep it going, Game Changer. Keep it going, Gilch, Fox Force. Unlucky Run Gooder. Unlucky Moss Shark. Wayne Union Axel Guy surviving. Antibala's out. Jamie is still alive. Bad luck, Cindy. Make sure you let me know when we hit the money, and I will celebrate your success. I'll do this, probably. Or I'd post that emoji if I was doing an emoji. Our 2 big stacks, not getting super excited about this part. Obviously, Aurelie with just 8 big blinds is going to affect how they play. We would need some pretty coolerish type hands to get them interested, I think. A limp from DKV and Big Fish can raise. And now they'll play another pot. I mean, if it comes like 3-4 ace or something, Aurelie's dreams come true. It doesn't. It comes gin for Big Fish. About as good a flop as you could hope for, but no action. See, I told you earlier, poker's situational. It's relative. You want the best hand, but you want someone to have a very good second best hand. That's the kind of gold you came here for, isn't it? I know. This is the Aurelie countdown. They're either going to double up or they're going to... Do you have any plans for the new year, Nick? What are you offering? It's got to be open to offers. I've got nothing on, especially Mondays. I'm going out for a meal, but then coming home to drink at home for New Year's Eve. I'm past the age where being out and about on New Year's Eve is the answer. He's looking for a job, so it's the pits. I am. I'm sort of a moderately hard worker once a week. I don't like to be doing the most work, as you've seen on the show, but like I'll pitch in once a week on something if you've got... Ideally, just talking is the thing I'm... Got anything like that? Governor? Top pair for Big Fish. And they win another one. So they've chipped up quite a bit here while Aurelie's been the short stack. DKV continuing with this limp strategy on the button. They don't want to be 3-bet by Big Fish. I think it's reasonably sensible, actually. If they see a flop, it's fine. I understand that you're giving Big Fish all the power, but then they have all the power because they've got, 66 big blinds. Thanks, Cindy. I appreciate it. And Big Fish can just strong arm this pot. Like, what are you really doing there with a pair of 3s? Even if the river was a 2, are you calling twice? If you're wrong, you're back down to being a short stack, and the money jumps are huge. Just to confirm, we've got $1,500 between third and second here, and then another $1,600 between second and first, which means over $3K between first and third. So already having the short stack is just amazing for Big Fish because they're just abusing DKV. What would you do on a Monday now, Nick? Don't know, probably just fire up the old microphone and talk for a couple of hours about something on my own in a room. Don't know what I'll do. This is always an awesome way to start the week. Already finally is all in. And looks like they'll double up. And they do. So this Big Fish loses a few big blinds, but keeps this really good situation. He doesn't even want to play a suited ace on the button. I think that's probably taking it too far. I do understand the sentiment. They just don't want to get involved in a clash. They don't want to bleed off more chips. But yeah, it's a tough spot, isn't it? Not for Big Fish. Lovely spot. That's where I'd like to be. We don't have any information on Big Fish, really. So I can't tell you much about them. I think I recognize the screen name, but I'm not certain. Obviously, a lot of screen names have fish in the title. DKV, I don't have anything on either. Orally, I do know satellited into this event. So one of the things that I've said consistently on these streams is that you should be playing satellites if you're into tournament poker. Already paid $22 to be here. They've now locked up. What have they locked up? 4,200 for third. But if you want to develop your tournament game, you should play satellites. There are lots of reasons to play satellites. The reason orally is manifesting, which is to play a bigger tournament, potentially win a bigger prize, and also get experience of playing bigger tournaments out of your bankroll. Also, satellites are just profitable because people play them badly. There's always a percentage of the field that don't take them seriously. You get experience of making some really interesting poker decisions when you're near to the bubble in satellites. So yeah, if you're a tournament poker player, playing satellites should be a decent part of your playing time. And there's very few tournament pros for whom that's not true. All in for orally. And in trouble, but hits the 2. Oh, counter outrun on the river. Ace-5 was the best hand. Obviously, a ton of chop pots there, but that is not a chop pot. That's a very decisive pot. Orally unlucky to be busted in third, but a great tournament for them. As we just said, they satellited in, so they turned $22 satellite into almost $4,500. That is really the dream. That is why tournament poker is so much fun. Well done to them. We're heads up. And it's the heads up we always threaten to have, isn't it? These two were the big stacks at the very start. DKV had a dip. I think they got down to just under 10 big blinds at one point, right? But that's the advantage coming into final table with a bigger stack. You can withstand a bad run. Much more importantly than the heads up for all the money on the feature table, we're in the money in the free roll. Let's go. Who made it? Tell me if you're in the money. Scuddy, looks like you are in. Sleepy the Old is in. Don Variance, does that mean you're in? Leo made it. Well done. Windings made it. Final Table made it. Doc Matouche made it. See what I told you when we were doing the how many times has someone made the final table who watches this show? This chat crushes the free roll. You are awesome at this. Doc Matouche is still in. Game Changer's in. Day Magi is in. Tom Variance made it with 1.3 big blinds. The important thing is that you made it. In is in. Bad luck, Jamie, on just missing out. Bad luck, Antibala. New Frost Mage in the money. New Tramanda in the money. Well done. Natras in the money. Awesome. Very, very strong representation. Still coming. A, B, C, D, E in the money. Why did you stop at E? Axel Guy in the money. Nicely done. Really, really good stuff. Don't know if we'll be on air to see it, but I hope one of you wins it. That would be phenomenal. Message me and tell me you did. I don't know how you message me. LinkedIn. You can message me on LinkedIn. That's the only social media I'm always on. We're heads up for the money here. Big Fish has got a big advantage. But heads up poker, it's not a big advantage, is it? 2-1 is basically nothing. One all-in pot that goes the wrong way, and you are on the receiving end of being 2-1. Mothshark says, I think I need free roll coaching. How much would you pay for your free roll coaching? Not much for market, I suspect. It's the pit says, yeah, you'll need LinkedIn now. Exactly. Seeking employment. Can do talking. Has a working knowledge of most soups. Big Fish is going to bet here. DKV is going to call. I can do side notes now, can't I? My side note is that heads up poker is the biggest gap between enjoyment from playing and enjoyment from commentating in my time in poker. There you go. Heads up poker is awesome to play. It's so challenging. Most poker players never play it. Obviously, it's quite swingy, very swingy, but it's incredibly challenging. You make all these really weird marginal decisions. And I'd really recommend it to you as something different, not necessarily a moneymaker, and trying to win at cash poker heads up is definitely need to know what you're doing. But for something different and something fun that helps you then in tournaments, then definitely do it. To actually cover it as a commentator, especially live heads up, it's not very exciting. And this is a problem that, like I hope we get some exciting hands here, but this is a problem that poker has in general, which is the climax of the tournament is often not the most exciting part of the tournament, especially live events. I always think this is a problem. I don't know if you agree, but it's really hard to watch two people just passing blinds back and forth, or playing the odd small pot or whatever. All of the drama is happening in the two players' heads, which I guess is why good commentators can really help the situation. But it's definitely a big gap between how much fun it is to play and how much fun it is to watch. There was the was it NBC had the Heads Up Championship that they used to run, and it was like a TV product, so it was really quick matches, and there used to be more than one game going on at once, so they could cut between the different games, and they had a lot of the biggest names in the world, and they also had kind of celebrities and kind of pseudo poker players with a bit of a profile. That was a really fun event, actually. So now I'm not sure if people are saying ITM because they're in the money in the free roll, or if they're saying ITM because they think it's the keyword. People that are chatters, what do you think? Congratulations if you're in the money in the free roll. I appreciate your efforts. Is that a Liverpool photo on your wall, says Nettie? It's a Liverpool jersey. The one you can see is signed by Kenny Dalglish. It's the 1978 jersey that Kenny Dalglish wore, not the jersey, but a replica jersey that he signed. It says "Happy Birthday, Nick" on it from Kenny Dalglish. Kenny Dalglish is the person who I was a fan of when I was little. So yeah, if there was a fire, I'd obviously run in and grab that, and if I could also carry Mia, I would. We've got not much change in our heads up match so far. See, Big Fish is folding a jack there. So this is one of the things where heads up poker is so different. A jack in that spot is a really big lay down. So you've got to be really sure that you're beat there in order to lay that down. If you're in a full ring, and the reason why is, just to give a little bit more poker info before I leave, the reason why is the size of the range of hands that players start the hand with. So if you're in a full ring and 9 hands have been dealt, obviously when players play, they've got a hand that's in the top, whatever, 20% of hands, let's say. When a player plays a hand heads up, they've got a hand that's in, let's say, the top 80% of hands. So having a second pair hand is much less likely. No, I didn't, Parabellum. It's the pit says, don't forget to carry out the soup book. Jamie says, I thought that was a false background. Why would I pick this? I'd pick like the Bahamas or like a penthouse that overlooks Silicon Valley or something, wouldn't I? I've gone for very average second bedroom converted into home office. That's what I've gone for in my false background. Quite idiosyncratic. Big hand for DKV here. Big Fish might bluff, doesn't bluff. Thanks, Slime. It is quite cozy. Yeah, good value bet from DKV, and they've closed the gap. 41 blinds plays 50 blinds. We got a match. Just to remind you, they're playing for obviously the title and the glory, but also $1,800 in the last two bounties, which are not big bounties, but nearly $2,000. It's quite a lot of money to play for, and they bought in for $109. So awesome tournaments from both of them. Came to the final table as the two big stacks. So definitely played well all tournament, and either would be a worthy winner. Let's see who can stay more aggressive and catch some cards. Closing in on the break, we'll do a giveaway very soon. Very soon. We've got 2 more tickets to give away. Lime, am I right in thinking you want to do Lime Thinks instead of Nick Thinks? So I ask you the question. Is that what we're doing? Yes, it is what we're doing. This is game changing. Okay, Lime, I'll ask you a question. So now this really favors regular viewers of the show, because regular viewers of the show know how Lime thinks. Game changer, you're about to be banned from the contest. I mean, I personally wouldn't insult the person who's A, deciding what the answer is and can see your replies, and B, is the moderator. Don't think I would do that. Oh, that's unlucky. Let's see how we go. Let's see this hand, and then let's get that question out there. Game changer. You've been given solid life advice by Lime here. I would go with it. If Lime wants to rig the last giveaway in Magic Monday history, A, no one can prove it, and B, no one can say a word. So, you know, be nice to Lime Night. So we'll do the question, and then we'll give the answer after the break. Lime decides when the contest closes in chat. 1 answer per player, please. You can answer if you're in YouTube chat, but 1 answer per player. 2 tickets to give away. Speed is a factor in the test, because if 2 values are the same or the same distance away from the right answer, whoever is fastest will win. So we're going to have 2 winners. Lime will decide when the contest is closed. I don't have to do anything, do I? All I have to do is ask the question. Here's the question, Lime and chat. It's in the history of Magic Monday question. Why not? So I don't really curse very much when I'm commentating or broadcasting, even though we are allowed to do bad words. So I reckon Magic Monday's been going about 4.5 years. In the 4.5 years, how many curse or swear words or curse words have I, Nick, said? What does Lime think the answer is? How many curse words in the history of Magic Monday poker does Lime think I've said? How many naughty words, swear words, curse words, cusses, bad words? So you've got to interpret Lime's interpretation of that. So Lime will tell you when the contest is closed. Winners announced after the break, which is coming up very shortly. Get involved, have fun. Our last ever Loddon Thinks. Now I am sad. Playing this stupid game has produced some incredibly funny moments over the years. Incredibly funny. Get those guesses in. I don't know if you'll be able to guess during the break. Lime decides that. She'll give you a warning when she's going to close it. Big bet here on this river with the made hand. Tough for Big Fish because they have also caught a hand. What do they make of this bet size? Because DKV hasn't been making huge bets either in the heads up or... I say that. They do make big check raises, don't they? Just thinking back. It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard to lay that down. There's no real reason to think they're going to show you a straight, apart from the fact there's a straight on board. I get that. It's not a 3-bet pot, so there aren't a lot of big aces in their range. So that was a tough spot for Big Fish, but they might get their chip lead back here. Bad spot for big fish. Fishfart says one man's curse words, another man's compliment. Not sure about that one. Here's a compliment. I love your ace king. It was directed at big fish. So a bit of a roller coaster here as DKV won that big one, took the chip lead. Big Fish immediately doubles back up. We'll see the conclusion of the last ever Magic Monday final table and our last ever London Thinks question after the break.
It's time for Ace State Poker Live 2026, and we're lining up a jam-packed year full of awesome events just for you. First up is Madrid, where we'll bring the poker thrill to one of Europe's most vibrant cities. Then we head to Glasgow, a city known for its heart, energy, and epic poker showdowns. Next, it's on to Barcelona, where poker meets party under the Spanish sun. Finally, we close out in London, showcasing our poker prowess in one of the most iconic cities in the world. And that's not all. The UKPL is back with 5 stops across the UK for your chance to grab even more poker action. We've also got the Noche de Poker Festival in Spain, bringing poker closer to you. It's going to be an incredible live experience unlike anything you've seen before. And stay tuned for more surprises. So whether you're a seasoned pro or new to the game, Ace State Poker Live is your chance to be part of something unforgettable. Come along, play well, get lucky, and you could be our next Ace State Poker Live champion. Ace State Poker, made to play.
We can also use small straight draws, gut shots, even open enders, and blast them off of high card hands that are ahead of us. When we've defended our big blind to a raiser, we are out of position. The most common thing we're going to do is check to the raiser. Because we had a discount pre-flop, we have a wide range. They have a narrower range. On most flops, they have an advantage in strength, and they have an advantage with position. We're just going to check to them and then reassess based on what they do. When we face a c-bet, we have to first of all get rid of all of our trash hands. So if the board comes like a Jack 10-5, we know we're automatically folding pocket threes. Ace deuce offsuit, 6-7 offsuit. All of those hands disappear. Then we are left with a reasonably strong range. Our second pairs, our top pairs, some sets, maybe straights, depending on what the board is. And all of these hands have to go into 2 buckets, 2 strategic decisions, check raising and check calling. People often don't check raise enough, and it's really important to check raise enough, both to get fold equity and to get maximum value from your strong hands. Let's say the board comes 2, 3, 4, we check, they bet. We really want to get lots of money in with like 5, 6 with a flop straight or pocket fours for a set. So we are going to check raise those hands. We can't only check raise our very strongest hands. We need to balance that with bluffs as well. Maybe a hand like King 5 offsuit for the open-ended straight draw and the overcard. When we check raise these bluffs, we can make ace highs fold, and that's great. We can even use them as multi-barrel bluffs down the streets and maybe make them fold a pair on the correct runouts as well. There are times when we don't check raise very much at all. If there's a lot of ICM considerations and we're covered, or if the flop is just particularly good for the pre-flop raiser. If the floppers came ace king 5, the pre-flop raiser has loads of top pair hands, loads of the best sets and the 2-pair hands. They have a big advantage. So we're not going to check raise very often at all here. We're going to decide on our trash and just fold it and do a lot of just check calling. If you're in the big blind and you call a raise versus an under the gun raiser and it comes ace king 5, having a donk betting strategy leading out instead of checking is not viable, not mathematically speaking. They have a really strong range on ace king 5. We have a relatively weak range on ace king 5. If we try and construct a leading range, it's going to be incredibly difficult to balance, and we're betting into a big disadvantage to their range. So it's not going to make you money in the long term. Some of the situations where we can construct a leading range is when the flop is beneficial to the big blind. Flops like 5-5 deuce. It's good for the big blind's range because when we had a discount pre-flop, we were calling hands like 5-6 offsuit, like king 5 offsuit. So we have a lot of 5s on 5-5 deuce, for example, whereas an early position raiser doesn't have very many 5s in their range. The reason we donk bet is to prevent them from checking back strong hands when we have a nut advantage. It allows us to maximize value from our strongest hands and maximize fold equity with some of our weaker hands that do have some potential to make something good on later streets. So when we've defended our big blind and it goes check, check on the flop, we need to assess the turn card. and if it's best for us in the big blind or if it's best for the pre-flop raiser. If we think the flop and turn are particularly good for our range, we need to construct a turn probe or a turn donking range. We can use hands like top pair, really good kicker. We can also use small straight draws, gut shots, even open enders, and blast them off of high card hands that are ahead of us. So we're maximizing our value with our best hands and maximizing our fold equity with some of our more nebulous hands that still have some improvability. So there you have it. There's some tips for how to play post-flop from the big blind. If you enjoyed this, please click like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to interact with you.
It's time for Ace State Poker Live 2026, and we're lining up a jam-packed year full of awesome events just for you. First up is Madrid, where we'll bring the poker thrill to one of Europe's most vibrant cities. Then we head to Glasgow, a city known for its heart, energy, and epic poker showdowns. Next, it's on to Barcelona, where poker meets party under the Spanish sun. Finally, we close out in London, showcasing our poker prowess in one of the most iconic cities in the world. And that's not all. The UKPL is back with 5 stops across the UK for your chance to grab even more poker action. We've also got the Noche de Poker.
Welcome back to Magic Monday. We're heads up. Heads up for the money and the title and the glory and the partners of your dreams or something. Okay, it's none of that. It's actually heads up for $1,800, which is no small amount, especially for a 109 buy-in tournament. Big Fish versus DKV, which it looked like being from very early on in our final table, didn't it? And this is where we've ended up. I think Big Fish has been the most aggressive player, and that usually leads you to the winner, which is instructive for your own tournament poker. Easy to be aggressive when you have the nut flush and the other person's betting into you, but you actually need to be aggressive, do you? Unlucky for DKV this. I actually think DKV's played well. They've definitely mixed up their aggression as well. A lot of checks and raises. If they bluff here, it's over. The 9 might dissuade them from bluffing. It doesn't. It's going to be over in one hand. One hand after the break. Big Fish gets dealt. They just happened to run into the hand that they were trying to be content with second spot. They were worth $140. Put that on Big Fish's big pile of cash. They win. Well, let's do DKV first. DKV takes home $5,750 for second and a little under $1,000 in bounties. And Big Fish, your big winner, takes home $7,355 for first, plus over $1,000 in bounties. Well done to them. GG's to the last Magic Monday final table. It was a good one, enjoyable one, actually. I mean, I wasn't paying attention half the time, but I presume it was enjoyable. Looked pretty good to me. We got some unfinished business. We've got to give away some prizes with the revolutionary, game-changing, What Does Lime Think? Lime, I asked you a question. The question was, how many curse words do you think I've said in the history of Magic Monday over about 4.5 years? Red Boy says, apparently some guesses think you're a potty mouth. Hundreds of swear words. Yes, but what does Lime think? This is what's important. Lime, you're going to have to put it in chat. What was your answer and how did you come up with it? I'll read out your thoughts. Your challenge is you're going to have to type really fast. We did have a big range of guesses. I'm waiting for Lime. Otherwise, nobody wins a prize. This will be the most disappointing. Okay, here we go. So I figured we've done around 180 to 200 shows. I love that she's thought about this properly, just like me and David. 180 to 200 shows, and figured if you saw 1 or 2 times, a couple of times a month on average, okay, that's the maths. Did I swear that much? It was 65 swears. You do the maths. This was worked out objectively, scientifically. The right answer is 65. Now, I can tell you very many people were close to that total. 2 people were 1 away first. So remember, if you were one away, well done, but you had to be first with these values to win. Our winners of our last ever London Things on Magic Monday are Doc Matouche, who said 66. Doc Matouche said 66. And Parabellum said 64. Parabellum, Doc Matouche, our last ever winners of Magic Monday. Soranaki says rigged. And as we know, Soranaki, it has been rigged against you for some time. Bad luck. I hope you've won on other streams. For some reason, you were cursed on this one. Thank you for playing, everybody. Thank you for enjoying and entertaining our silly games. We've got one job left to do, which is spin the wheel. Before we do that, I'm just, Doc Maticians, I love this rig stuff. Yeah, sometimes it works for you. Parabellum, last winner ever, says thank you. Yes. Before we spin the wheel, and because I know I've got a captive audience because you want to win, I'm just going to indulge myself for about 1 minute because this is the last ever Magic Monday and probably my last ever work in the poker industry. Probably. You never say never, but it's not what I do anymore. As I mentioned at the start of the show, I've done the 888 work. Magic Monday and the live events, really for the love of doing it. It's been honestly a real pleasure, a real joy. So thank you to 888 for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. Me and David are very sad that the show is ending, but we're also very grateful to 888 and to everyone at 888 who's not only made these shows, but also given us the chance to do them. I know that David seconds this. We're super grateful to you if you've watched the shows over time and if you've supported them. Do sincerely mean that. They wouldn't have kept the streams on. They wouldn't do the shows if people didn't watch and contribute and enjoy them. So that's a huge thank you from me to you. I think, don't worry, this isn't going to go on for too long, but I think I did my first ever live poker show something like 21 years ago. I'm that old. I don't know how many thousands of hours I've done, thousands and thousands. This is probably the last 5 minutes of those thousands and thousands of hours. I have been incredibly lucky. And my wish for you is that you get half as lucky as me professionally, because I got to do this, which I fell into poker in my 20s because I hated my corporate life. I liked some elements of doing the job, but I didn't actually like having a job and I was looking for an escape. And poker was an escape for me. I literally ran away to Vegas. I basically played in London a bit, realized I could make some money, ran away to Vegas with a bit of a kitty and made it work for a few years. And then poker got big and I'd always wanted to work in media. So I got to do media and got to do all of the shows that I've just banged on to you about. So I was super, super lucky. And honestly, it's been a complete joy. I've met some incredible people. I've got to do things like this. I've met people that have become very close to me. Kara, who became the vicar at my wedding, incredibly close friends like Brian, like David Tuckman, lots of other, Brian Townsend, that is, like David Tuckman, loads and loads of great people. And I met my wife. I met my wife through poker. Can you imagine? I love telling the story. I met her at a poker media event where she was hosting it for the casino. She was organizing it. And I was getting drunk and playing poker badly, I think, because I was part of the media. And I remember afterwards, like a long time afterwards, I asked her what she thought, was it love at first sight? Obviously. And she said, A, I thought you were just another drunk poker player. And B, I thought you were probably gay. So that was what poker gave me, an ability to meet a woman that was miles out of my league and then convince her that I was actually interested. So that was good. So poker's been an escape for me initially, something that I was able to do professionally at a decent level. Able to meet a lot of exciting people and able to meet some people very close to me and have a lot of fun. So I really hope that in our time together in streams, and if you've encountered me anywhere else, that you have had fun, that you've enjoyed this brilliant game. 888 streams will continue, of course, without Magic Monday. They'll be back next Monday after the new year. So make sure you tune in. I'm sure whatever they provide will be great for you and will involve lots of giveaways and lots of fun. And if our paths cross again in the future, then make sure you say hello. I will almost certainly be in a poker room at some point. Thanks for all the nice messages during this show as well. let's do one last spin, one last giveaway. If you have redeemed your Twitch points over the Christmas period, then you will be on our wheel. So I'm just reading the messages. Oh, super nice messages. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Lovely to read. I'm sure I'll go back and read them on the vlog. Don't forget the siren. How could I? Let us give away our last two $109 tickets. You must be in chat to win. If you're, I'm just getting ready for the siren. It's quite intimidating. If your name's on the wheel, lots of luck. As we say for one last time, spin the wheel. That's the best I could do. The Hungary. The Hungary won. The Hungary has won. I haven't seen them tonight, but they are often here. Have they won? Don't let my sinuses have died in vain. Thanks, Boxax. I appreciate it. The Hungary, are you here? I don't think they're here. Imagine if the last show never ends because we can't find winners. The Hungary, this is your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Hungary's in. Oh my God, that was so close. The Hungary, that was so close. A last moment of drama. A last moment of drama. Well done, Hungary, you've won. And now a fitting end to my time in poker as I make a childish noise over a spinning graphic for no particular reason. For one last time, let's spin the wheel. Better than David Tuckman's, isn't it? Berber, you are a winner. Berber AA, you're a winner, but only if you hear OMG is right. You are here with bells on. You've won. Good skills. You are our last ever winner. Congratulations to you if you won. Thank you. I won't say thank you individually anymore because there were lots and lots of nice messages. I really do appreciate it. David Tubman's really sorry he wasn't here tonight. He really appreciates it. He's on the socials if you want to get in touch with him and say thanks. We're both on Twitter under our real names. I'm also on LinkedIn if you want to ping me at any point. If our paths cross, do say hi. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for supporting Magic Monday. Continue to support the 888 streams. Big thanks to everyone that's made all of these streams possible for us over the years. Take it easy and remember to run good because that's the hard part. Good night.